show.
One, two, my God, so close. He kicked out. He kicked out. He kicked.
Hello and welcome to episode 96 of Ring Takes. I'm joined by Brian and Lewis. As always, I'm Daniel. We are here fresh off a fresh show of Monday Night Raw from Madison Square Garden, where we had a hell of a cage match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. But the return of Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, made an appearance. What do you guys think about his involvement in the match? But mainly importantly, the match itself was a banger. It was awesome. What do you guys make of it?
All right, yeah, that was a hell of a main event, man. I mean, just the story, the animosity, the brilliant in-ring work by both guys. They definitely topped what they did on the debut episode of Raw on Netflix. I mean, they popped me a couple of times with some of those false finishes. I think CM Punk got up to 3 GTSs, and Punk and Rollins couldn't put Rollins away. There was a time where he hit a stomp on Rollins that didn't put him away. There was another spot where I think Rollins had either hit where he hit a suplex or he hit a GTS, and then he went for his stomp, couldn't put him away. And literally, I think it was after that spot where I literally was just like, for the love of God, the match continues. It's
when's it gonna end, right?
At that point, you were just kind of hoping something would happen so that we could put a pause on this and then have the final match at WrestleMania in a sense. But then we got the Roman Reigns involvement, which I did kind of predict was going to happen, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking they didn't advertise him, and this was at Madison Square Garden in New York. So you think that if Roman Reigns is going to be in New York, that you would advertise it. So that definitely was a good little swerve. But
I mean, they're in New York. Yeah. It sells itself. It's Madison Square Garden at that point. So I mean, I think it was good that they kept it a surprise at least.
Yeah, you could say that. And plus, this is WrestleMania season 2, so realistically, every show leading up to WrestleMania is a must see. So I definitely understand that business aspect of it. But it was a hell of a main event. Obviously, Roman Reigns getting involved. We love to see our tribal chief. When he attacked to CM Punk, because you saw him and Paul Heyman you saw Paul Heyman trying to be there for him. I thought that is always going to be a very, very interesting part of the story. Definitely does look like we're going to get the triple threat between the three. Like I said before, if you're going to go in that direction, please just put some stakes on it, put a number one contendership up on the line or something like that to make it even more intriguing, because these are three of your top guys. And like I said, it was a hell of a main event. It was very entertaining, very hard hitting. Moving forward, anytime we see Rollins and Punk in the ring together, you're gonna get instant magic. But definitely looking forward to the triple threat. Like I said, please put some stakes on it for the love of God.
So if they put stakes on this, would this all be for the world heavyweight title then?
I would even go as far as to say just make it for a number one contendership for any title that the winner wants to go after. I would even because those are your 3 top guys. So realistically, whoever wins, you could picture them going after either title.
But I get what you're saying. I think it's just like we're just giving them all right, you guys, whoever wins can get whatever title. It's like
the transfer window is open, Lewis. The transfer window is open.
It's closed,
or because Punk still has that favor with Paul Heyman, he could say that the favor that could end up being what his favor is, that the winner of this match gets a title match or something.
That was the only thing I was thinking about. I'm like the triple threat obviously is a great top spot match, but it has to be for something. It can't just be okay, I won and that's it. Bye.
They can drag it. These are 3 of the top stars in the business.
They've already been doing this whole Punk Rollins feud.
We've had the bloodline for 5 years. They can drag it.
Had the titles. Usos had the tag titles. They had a lot of gold.
Yeah.
but everybody wants the title. That
Exactly.
can be the story.
But like Brian just said, you got 3 of your top stars, and they're just gonna fight for what? Nothing.
Who gets the opportunity to challenge for the title?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like, I hope that better be like what this
The
leads
end
to.
game.
Like, all right, we're good. This is a blood feud, and these guys have all animosity and history, and we're resolving
Hate
it.
each other.
Exactly.
You know, like that's cool and all, but save that
You
for
wanna
another
know
time, not Mania, you know. So,
And the
but
thing is, the history and animosity is there, where like some people would make the argument that you don't need to put a stake on it, but in this case, I just feel as though because it's WrestleMania, and because literally, like, okay, Roman Reigns, either one of them comes out. If either one of them comes out on top, what does that really mean? Like,
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's bragging rights, and then that can possibly set up the winner of that match just challenging for the title, just being like, hey, I just beat these other guys who are contenders and stuff like that. I shouldn't be the main guy in the spot. I mean, that could be a possibility.
Dan, you of all of us should know that bragging rights don't mean shit.
And that bragging rights pay-per-view they didn't make it mean shit either.
I'm glad that Brian knew exactly what the hell I was referring to.
I'm like, wait a minute. Bragging rights? Like, oh, shit. But I mean, I just hope this doesn't. I just thought about this, but maybe they find a way to get Brock Lesnar to screw it up.
That would be crazy. That would be.
All these guys are fighting, trying to kill each other, and then Brock Lesnar just comes out at WrestleMania F5 everybody.
Guys all going at it. That would be insane.
Yeah, that would be.
Damn, he's beating all
of them. Would just have a panic attack trying to pick someone.
Like that shit would be crazy. But yeah, I think I feel like they can do a number one contendership for that match. Like it's big enough that it should be. Because you got Punk trying to go after the title, you got Roman trying to reclaim his throne, you got Seth trying to get back on top. They all have 3 individual stories. They all collide. I feel like that should be able to sell itself. But as for the match, I thought this was one of the best cage matches that they've had in a while. Like the fact that there were so many false finishes, the spots on top of the cage when they're punching each other back and forth, the suplex, them using each other's finishers. When's the last time we've seen that? It's been a while since we've seen people like steal the other guy's finisher and stuff like that and try to finish them off. The psychology is basically them saying, hey, you want to get out the ring and stuff like that. I like that back and forth, going back and forth. So I thought that was just a good thing to have in the match. And then, of course, Roman Reigns coming back in. The tribal chief is back, man. And it was an awesome way. I love the way they did it. They didn't show him on camera. They didn't show him showing up to the building. Just kind of like a sneak attack when Seth Rollins is near the door. And he pulls him out, actually helping Seth win the match. So Seth at least has that in his cap over Punk, right? So definitely be interesting to see what it is, man. But I love the fact that Roman Reigns come back. And in that capacity, it wasn't like he came in and blew up the match. Kind of did, but he actually, like, they didn't end in a no contest. So that was my thing about it. So the fact that we got that, I was just great main event.
Yeah. They left a lot of a story on the table too, because now Punk can make the claim that like, yeah, you beat me because of Roman. So technically you never pinned me. So they can always go back to that third match eventually down the road.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
I like because it's funny enough. Even when the match, I was like, me trying to like think who's gonna win this match. I was like, do you have Seth lose again? If he loses again, like, there's no point in having another one of these.
Yeah,
that's 2. But then as soon as I was thinking that, boom, Roman comes out and pulls him out. And it's like, well, here we go. Here it is.
That's the end.
Just like that.
But like you guys said already, I mean, great in-ring psychology. You know, I think that's the first time I've ever seen anybody be like, all right, get out of the cage. You know, like, it's wide open for you. If you want to leave, leave. You know, like, there was a lot of great storytelling in that match. So many false finishes that legit kept everybody on the edge of their seats. And honestly, there were too many points where you're like, is this the end? Is it not? But definitely like what they're doing. Like I said, I hope this just leads to something good. And I know the match itself is going to be great, but again, It just needs to have purpose or lead to something,
The payoff has to have something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, that was a great main event. They've been killing it lately with the main events. But let's keep moving on. To Cody Rhodes sends a message to John Cena, basically saying he's not going to win 17 at WrestleMania, especially after the beatdown from The Rock, John Cena, and Travis Scott. What do you guys make of Cody Rhodes' promo on Raw?
Oh well, he actually cut two of these because he also kind of cut a similar promo on SmackDown as well.
Yeah,
kind of pretty much expressing his I guess disappointment with the John Cena, and kind of just also, like Daniel said, he's not going to win number 17, and how like all these years it was all the mantra was always never give up, and then finally he gave up, and pretty much he's telling this story, and the crowd is behind him, but the thing that I was like the most concerned about, kind of, I think it happened during the Raw segment where you had, and I don't know if this is just because we were in a hardcore town like New York, you had that "Let's go Cena, the Cena sucks" chance, and you could tell that's something that like they don't want to would be involved in at this point. Now I can only assess that just because everybody knew Cena wasn't there. That's the reason why, one of the reasons why we might have got that reaction, because when he does show up in person, I mean that atmosphere is just going to be it's going to mirror how it was at the Hammerstein Ballroom when he wrestled at ECW One Night Stand, and those fans merciless all over him. I think he's going to make his first heel appearance next week on Raw overseas.
Yep.
Now you guys know how those overseas crowds are. So you only imagine he's probably not even going to be able to get a word out within the first 10 minutes.
Is it going to be like Toronto where they cheer him?
They
cheer the heel.
Like France, it's going to be like Mexico. It's going to be like it's going to be a football crowd. That crowd is going to be all over him. He's probably not going to be able to really speak.
And that's going to be in Brussels, so you don't know what you're going to get.
That's Germany, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Europe. Europe, yeah. So that's that atmosphere is just going to be it's just going to be crazy. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like this promo better than the one that was on Friday. He touched on like the history, me driving Cena around and seeing who he was and him being the mentor, and now I'm the quarterback and all this stuff. There was a lot of good that he referenced in that promo. I don't see Cody leaving Mania with the title. I definitely see. I think I'm more curious to see. This heel Cena character has to work. If it has its little cringy spots like The Rock has had in the past, I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, I think it'll still work just because it's Cena, and he definitely knows his character work. But I'm still so curious: is this going to be like John Cena, like I'm doing this because I have to, or is it going to be I'm doing this because I want to and I've always wanted to, or like what is this character going to look like? So I'm definitely more excited about that, and definitely want to see what this is. This whole final boss, is this going to be like full-fledged like authority, or Vince back in the day with just like the corporation and all that stuff? Is it going to be a faction, or is it just going to be like Rock just playing puppeteer and be like, all right, you go get him, or you go do this, or you or whatever, and shit. I with more people saying they're willing to sell their soul, maybe that's how you enhance more talent. Like Carmelo Hayes, as annoying as he is, I guess I could definitely see somebody like a Drew McIntyre like getting involved. There's a lot of growth and characters that people that you can build up with, a faction.
Yeah. They definitely need to. They definitely need to endorse somebody with those two. I don't know who specifically. I think you mentioned Drew. I knew her talent like a Carmelo Hayes or something like that would definitely benefit more in that situation. But they have to endorse somebody, because I mean, that's two of your guys that are on the Mount Rushmore. So you have to you gotta kind of like make somebody.
Yeah, they gotta like shine some new people. And
What are you guys talking about? There's a third guy in the group. It's Travis Scott. That's who's going to be endorsed.
The guy that goes around giving people black eyes. That's the
Yeah.
Cody said he didn't touch him.
So I'm hearing that he also punched him, but I'm like, the slap. Where is this punch that I keep hearing about? I didn't see the clip of the punch.
The internet running wild.
Yeah, the internet running wild. Yeah, we'll get into that at the very end of the show. Yeah,
with Dave Meltzer.
But
ultimately, I think it's just basically the anticipation of it because Cody Rhodes is now the de facto babyface in this, right? Like when we first saw that thing with John Cena and winning the Elimination Chamber, we're like babyface versus babyface, the old guard versus the new guard. Okay, that's fine. And now we get this heel face dynamic that's actually set in stone now. I think it's just the anticipation to see what John Cena is going to be during this heel run, what The Rock is going to be with John Cena, how Cody Rhodes is going to battle these guys leading up to WrestleMania and at WrestleMania. So I think from that standpoint, I'm intrigued by it. I love that. I hope this works. I hope it's not a dud. Whatever it is, whatever happens, I hope it's awesome. And as guys for endorsing, I always thought that I said it. I think I said it when we first talked about this. The Street Profits. I would love to see them get the rub from John Cena and The Rock in that regard. It's just the anticipation of it. I thought Cody Rhodes did a good promo, basically telling the history, orchestrating the story, right? And basically the whole thing about being the quarterback and, now I'm in charge, right? Because John Cena was that guy for so long, and now it's Cody Rhodes. So definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. They're going to be, I believe both of them are going to be on Raw next week. So
yep, they are.
Didn't they originally highlight Cena for this Raw?
No, I don't.
I swore and I saw like a clip at some point, like, "Oh, John Cena's going to be on Raw," and then I think that's why Cody was like, "Oh, he's not here." I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
No,
go ahead.
I was just going to say now because that first heel promo means something. So if they're going to advertise it, they're going to advertise the fuck out of it. So so I don't think so. I don't recall them put. I mean, they may have briefly mentioned it just so as a note for Cody, maybe. But if when it really happens, like they'll promote it, and they did promote the hell out of it with him and Cody under the same roof, and stuff. With a 3 o'clock Eastern time.
Oh wait, so what time? What time is this starting?
So it's going to be live on Netflix. Our time, 3 p.m.
Oh, that's awesome.
Realistically, by the time it's over, it's going to be up literally 2 seconds right after. So realistically, if people want to stay within their routine, just turn Netflix on at 8 o'clock and they'll be right there.
Stay off social media, basically.
Just stay off social media. Yeah, just stay off.
But luckily, I work at home, so it will be on in the background. It will be on for me. But let's keep going on here. We have Io Sky, Bianca, and Rhea Ripley kind of setting up to be a triple threat match here. It looks like it's happening. Michael Cole interviewed the new champion, Io Sky, and Io Sky was grateful for the fans supporting her with her big title win last week. What do you guys make of this whole promo with Bianca coming out and then Rhea Ripley ultimately coming out as well?
All right. First.
This promo was hilarious. I don't know why.
I think I know why. Go ahead.
It's so crazy to see how. I think this was the first time I saw how much these two tower over Io Sky, and once Rhea did that first like mush face out the way, I was like, oh. And then Bianca did it, and I was like, oh, here it comes. And I thought she was just going to attack him with the belts, but she legit slapped him. She slapped Bianca even way harder. And I was like, damn. Definitely a great start. I thought it was a great, storytelling in itself. Obviously Bianca has all this stuff going on. Rhea making good points like, oh, are you just cheering her because you don't want to face me? Bianca saying, you sure you just lost in because you can't beat her and you trying to blame me for that,
Yeah.
A lot of good storytelling within it, and then EO obviously blowing up, be like, y'all can argue all y'all want, but I'm the champ.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a great segment. I think it highlighted everybody equally very well. I honestly don't know who would actually is going to win this match just because EO just got this title, but this one's definitely going to be one of those tough ones to pick, at least for me. So
yeah, definitely is going to be hard to pick. But I enjoyed the segment as well. They solved an issue that I thought I was going to have in this feud. Because obviously when we predicted this, when we all picked Bianca, we thought we were going to get the one-on-one match. And now that they're pivoting to this triple threat, it's kind of like okay, make sure all three women are valued equally. And I initially thought that, like, okay, because people wanted Bianca and Rhea so much that EO was going to get lost in the shuffle being the champion. And this promo addressed that shit immediately, especially with the two smacks. And even afterwards, when she's standing in the ring with the title, like yelling at them in Japanese, like this is my time. I'm the fucking champ. Y'all supposed to be chasing me. Y'all worried about each other. This is my time. My time. This is my time. This is my time. And I love the fact that they did that, because again, people forget about EO's track record since she's been in WWE with NXT until now. You almost take for granted all the success that she's had, and that again you forget that she is a top woman. So that's wrong with it. Even though some people were disappointed that she won last week because we were denied Rhea and Bianca one-on-one. EO was a top star, and I'm glad that she's not going to be like lost in the shuffle, that she's going to be presented equally on foot with Bianca and Rhea, and it's going to make her a hell of a triple threat.
Yeah, she's not a paper champion by any means. And I think that was the thing they tried to establish by that promo and the reaction that she got when she slapped both Rhea and Bianca. And then I thought, like, Lewis, she's going to start attacking them with the belt, take them both out, and be like, yeah, I'm standing tall. She smacked both of them and said, I'm the champion, and then walked out on both of them. So I thought that was a great way to establish EO that she's not a joke. Like, this is not as established as she is, and that was her small stature compared to both Rhea and Bianca. People are probably thinking that, oh, she has no chance. But doing this actually gives her a chance in this match. So hopefully that continues. Hopefully they continue to show her in that positive light. As for Bianca and Rhea, basically, going back to EO, actually, basically, she was basically saying, hey, it's not one of you guys aren't responsible for losing to me. I won because I am that good. So kudos to her for doing that. Kudos for them for finding a way, as Brian said, have a bind out of that situation. So definitely positive notes on that. And I can't wait. I wanted the Rhea and Bianca match one-on-one. I thought, I'm like, this needs to happen. Maybe they can push it back, but it's like, if we're going to get this triple threat between these three, I'm glad it's between these three.
Yeah,
no question.
So it was like, I think it was like 2 SummerSlams ago, there was a triple threat where it was EO, Bianca, and Charlotte. Now we swap out Charlotte for Rhea. Do you think?
Oh, no, it was Asuka. That was
Asuka?
That was EO's cash-in.
Oh yes, yeah. You're right. Okay. Scratch that. Oh, this is the first time we're seeing this triple threat. Now, because my immediate thought was going to be like, because the difference being Charlotte now you sub in Rhea, that I thought initially that they already kind of had that chemistry in a triple threat, and that Rhea will add a different dynamic to make it even better. But yeah, you're right, Daniel. That was Asuka, and then EO cashed in. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Cashing
great moment. Yep, great moment. So we'll definitely circle back. Can't wait to see what happens with that. Let's get into other Raw notes. We had Andrew Schultz being confronted by Logan Paul with AJ making the save. What do you guys make of that? And a potential match leading to.
I'm just gonna make a quick joke. It's in regards to AEW. I hope they were taking notes in regards to having celebrities on the microphone and not having them get on the mic and essentially shit on the business. So I just listen. This is the reason why production meetings are important when you're interviewing certain people. That way they don't expose the business. And so that's to say, and we'll get into that later. But Andrew Schultz, came out, was with the program. Definitely got the crowd behind them, saying, Logan, we don't want you. We're in New York. I actually thought Logan was going to get physical with him at one point. I mean, it is Andrew Schultz. I mean, he is a hell of a comedian. I mean, I have watched a lot of some of his stuff on some of his specials and stuff. Yeah, he is a hell of a comedian. He's funny. He's hilarious. But I definitely like the segment. It looks like they're going to go with AJ and Logan Paul, which I initially had predicted they would go based upon how the Royal Rumble turned up. It's going to be I think it's going to be very similar to the match Logan Paul had with Ricochet. I think it was a couple of SummerSlams ago, because I know AJ and Ricochet kind of have like a similar style. And AJ is known for bringing out the best in opponents. I mean, for God's sakes, he had a match with Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, and arguably that you can make the case that that's probably AJ's best WrestleMania match out of all the matches he's done. So just think about that with Shane McMahon. Pulled out show stealer with Shane McMahon. So you already know what he's going to get out of Logan Paul.
I had so much high hopes for WrestleMania 34, man. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hold on.
AJ and Nakamura.
Yeah, don't remind me, man.
No.
Don't remind me.
I actually going to say that. No, the reason why that match wasn't good, I honestly think that people's expectations were too high. They were thinking they were going to get the same match that them two had in New Japan years ago.
We should have.
Exactly, they should have. Like, bro, this is WWE. They're two different guys. That's a different style.
I don't care what style it is. We're at WrestleMania. You just have to copy that match. Just let those guys go. They're two of the best wrestlers in the world. Let me not get into
it. Had great New Japan careers. It's like, how do you mess that one up?
Let me not get into it. Let me not get into it.
Yeah, let's just keep it short and sweet. Vince wanted to book that match a specific way. Wanted them to work a specific way. That wasn't what we got in the New Japan. Luckily under this new administration, you can do what Daniel just said to do. You can just take that New Japan match, try to make it as WWE as you can, and it'll be just as entertaining.
There's only one problem, Brian. It's too fucking late. It's too fucking late.
No. Especially now with Nakamura. Yeah.
It's too late. It's too late. But let's keep moving on here. What do you guys think about the masked luchador helping the New Day pick up a win over the LWO?
This either needs to be funny as hell, or they need to drop this right now.
What? You don't like the masked luchador shenanigans? You don't like that?
You tell me you liked when Hulk Hogan wore a lucha mask?
I mean, that wasn't a lucha mask. I mean, it kind of was a superhero mask.
It was basically
realistically. They didn't let that story play out.
We don't know.
He wasn't Hulk Hogan.
We don't know if that's Chad Gable or not. Okay, we do not know.
Yeah, sure.
We do not know. Whoa. Wasn't he talking to the backstage interviewer, and then the masked luchador was being brought out the arena?
I'm just saying this either.
How can Chad Gable be in two places at once, Lewis?
Again, okay. My gripe is not with him being in the mask or not. I'm saying, what is this going to lead to? Is this going to really lead to him having an alter ego type crap? Like, it just seems like it's going to be some comedic crap that I don't even think he needs right now. You know, it's like,
I'll take this over Shorty G. He's not in the picture right now. Apparently, he's not in that picture.
But that's the reason why you don't want it to be comedic, because we remember when he was comedic and how shitty and horrible it was.
And it
wasn't. What did you just say 2 minutes ago, Brian? We're in a different regime. We're in a new light. We're in a different regime now. And it's not too late to do comedic stuff.
I think I'm also in a spot where like Chad Gable is just so good. It's like give me a serious run at this point. You know, make it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would love it if his group,
American Made,
just ran through everybody, got gold. He gets some type of gold, and
they leave it there. Yeah, I'm not. That's definitely something I want for this team, because I thought the Creed brothers were awesome. Yeah. And I feel like they should be tag team at least battling the Viking Raiders, which they have. Hopefully they continue to do that, and he continues to do. Maybe he gets the win in that point. Ivy Niles has been battling for the IC title, so that's been a nice touch.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get Chad Gable back. Maybe this is just a pathway to do this in some regard, right? Because I mean, LWO is kind of stock. New Day is kind of in this rut right now. Maybe getting back.
Like who knows what the hell they're doing with that?
No, I think they're building the New Day up to eventually dethrone the Viking Raiders. It's going to be there's going to be a heel New Day tag team championship reign.
No, they should do it.
No, they should be.
I think they should.
Be. They're going to be.
I don't know. My thing is like you had this huge moment with Big E, and it's like
to turn them heel. Yeah,
but
that was the lightning rod.
Yeah,
but it should be like. I don't know. I'm not saying that just because you turn heel, you should get like titles, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe I kind of wanted a different heel version, I guess. Like for me, heel is like, beat the crap out of people, be heelish and like take people out, injure people. They're just.
We're not there yet, Lewis. Baby steps. They're the Weasel. They should be Weasley heels.
I'm sorry. Is that not literally what the Street Profits are doing right now?
Those are the guys that are the savages and supposed to beat down people. They're more physically imposing than Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston.
I'm sorry. Is Kofi Kingston not a multi-time champion? Is Xavier Woods not a? So you're just saying because the other guys are taller than more.
Unfortunately, I'm going to bring it up again. Unfortunately, he was squashed to Brock Lesnar in 6 seconds. So
like a different regime.
Yeah.
But it's too late. It's too late. Like we're not going to be able to get that back. Same thing with that my WrestleMania 34 match with AJ Styles and Shinsuke. We're not going to be able to get that back, unfortunately. We're not getting that back. But ultimately, we're not going to get that back. But I can't wait to see what they do with this match. Luchador, obviously, I think is going to lead into WrestleMania. You need other matches on the card, and some variation. The LWO American Made is going to go at it. So there's that. Let's get into some Judgment Day business. Some things picking up for Judgment Day. What do you guys make of the recent transgressions of this group with not transgressions, actually a positive light, I can say, for the group for the Judgment Day, that we haven't been able to say for in a while. Raquel Rodriguez becoming the number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, and Dominic Mysterio setting up Finn Balor with the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker in Brussels next week.
Please let that title match kind of like officially determine where we're going with this story. Like, that's gonna be the climax of okay. Are they gonna break up, or are we gonna get like a something drastic where it's finally said like okay, now you got Finn over here, you got Dom over here. Like that match has to be it. Because I'm at the point right now with this where I'm just like, will you guys just hurry up and get to the point where you guys break up and everything now? I don't know. I'm just over. I mean,
Liv Morgan is planting the seeds.
She's for sure. Like you know what's eventually going to happen. You just want them for this story. You kind of want them to speed up and get to it, even though.
Like Dan said, they're cooking. Things take time. Let them play.
Like for this specific story, it's just like
slow burn, right, Dan?
Whoa. Are we not getting Raquel Rodriguez with an Intercontinental title opportunity? Are we not getting Finn Balor with an Intercontinental title opportunity, Lewis?
But Brian said he wants them to break up now, which has been hinting at for a long time now.
Yeah, at least they've been cooking and they've been stirring it up, and now it's going to reach its boiling point probably next week. It's going to reach its boiling point. Well, the group is just out on.
My thing, and I saw somebody point this out online. We have, and I feel like they've been hinting at it. They have been showing that, I don't know if it's a briefcase or a picture or whatever, but it's of Demon Balor, and they
they did. I did see that
in the backgrounds a lot. So I don't know if that's where this is going. That we might be getting the Demon back and. Maybe we'll get him back at Mania. Who knows? I don't know what capacity. I don't know against who.
Do you really need the fucking Demon against Dom? If it ends up being a one-on-one match,
Whoa.
That is giant.
Wasn't Dom on the top list of wrestlers under 25? Let's show some respect. Let's show some respect, okay? How about we do that? Dom is not a pushover.
Yeah,
Dom
He's dating
weighs
Liv
90
Morgan.
pounds. Dom weighs 90 pounds.
Yeah, because Finn Balor read Sports Illustrated. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm
But
just
no,
saying,
probably-
if we get the Demon King back, it needs to be against a great opponent, because you can't bring that back and just have him lose. Like if he loses, coming back to that, don't even bring it back. It's like, I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel like that's lurking around, and I don't know which way they're gonna go with that. So
yeah, I don't know what they're gonna go with that, because it's like Finn at this point. I like him as a heel. I feel like he should be a heel, or maybe just the landscape is changing up. Maybe they need him to be a babyface at this point. Hopefully, just whatever it is, I hope it just brings more opportunities for Finn Balor.
I think
Whatever it is,
he should be a babyface, just because I think there's too many heels right now. There's a very small batch of baby faces. I mean, we kind of just got AJ back, but besides that, what? Sammy, Jay,
Randy, Roman.
Is Roman the baby face?
Tweener. My bad. Is it fair to say Seth? Is it fair to say Seth, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns are leaning on the tweener?
Depends on
Roman is in his own category, so he's just Roman.
Yeah. He's in God mode, all right?
He just does whatever, whenever. And
if you're in your own category, that makes you the GOAT. I'm just saying. There's not many people that can do that, but hey. That will do it for Raw. Let's move over to the SmackDown side of things. We had a pair of United States title matches going on there, with Chelsea Green retaining over Meacham in a hard-hitting match. What do you guys make about that? And was it Alba Fire that came back and helped to win? Yep. That came and helped to win. I just want to say this: Meacham, Mia Yim is just so underrated. And she was kind of like that in TNA. She was kind of like that in NXT. And I'm just like, when is she going to get her moment? When is she going to get her moment?
I truly hope, if this feud continues, let her get a payoff at Mania. If it makes it to the card, which I feel at this point it should.
There's 2 nights. Everything should make the card.
her and Chelsea have had a really good feud. And
yeah.
Obviously, isn't the first time they've had this type of match. You know, she won that last dumpster match thing that was like, which was still, I think, a great highlight. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like she's been grinding. She's been getting matches. She's on TV consistently. But it's like I don't know why. It's every time's that. What is it when the
long back attack?
It cracks me up every single time, and I'm like, yo, whoever thought of that they should get a.
We know who came up with that. That was all her. That had to have been her idea.
Yeah.
Nobody wrote down the script. Hell no. Yeah, that was definitely her. But
yeah, if you see her on social media, she comes up with stuff like that. Like for
yeah. I love her and her Shelton Benjamin. We haven't gotten in a while, but them going back and forth for that longest time. It was like a 2-year period.
This relationship they got where they're coming at each other all the time. Yeah, I love that.
My god.
But like she talked about it on a podcast that like the one thing that like she struggles with is like connecting with the crowd, and like you see that because like when she first came back, it took like 3 months for people to even know what her name was, because they were flipping between Mi Chin and Mia Yim, and you really didn't know what to. I
do not like Mi Chin at all.
I mean, I don't like Mi Chin either. I mean, why not stick with what from Black and Gold and just call her Mia Yim? I don't know why they switch back to Mi Chin.
And it's not like her character's that different either, but I love the cargo, the bandana. Like that was like a cool. That was a cool to her look.
No, bro. Between Mi Chin and Mia Yim, there is no fucking difference, but it's literally the same shit. The same shit that she's doing right now. Literally, you just put some cargos on, and you could swear it's Black and Gold. Like it's like literally, it's the same. It's the same gimmick. She's just not calling herself the HBIC. Like, but other than that, all her mannerisms, the way she's dressing, the way she comes off, like everything screams the same gimmick from NXT Black and NXT Black and Gold. But it's like I don't know if it's like just a personality thing or just like that. Like the crowd, like the crowd is just the crowd just not like really buying her right now. Like she's not getting those like those reactions that you would think that she would get at this point. But even that was a struggle in NXT Black and Gold, because the only time I can remember where like she was like really like over was when she was going after the title against Shayna Baszler. That one. And that was more because people just wanted Shayna to lose at that point. So,
who did she have that ladder match with? Was it that hardcore match with? I can't remember who she had that hardcore match with.
Was it? It was in NXT, right?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. Was it?
Who won after Shayna? Was it?
It was I think it was Kairi Sane, maybe.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was Kairi Sane that dethroned her.
Because that's gonna bother me. Yep, I'm just looking at it.
It was either Kairi Sane or was a situation where it got vacant, or it was another situation.
It was Io. It was Io.
It was Io. Okay.
Okay.
It was Io. Okay. All
right. For the War Games advantage. Yep. But nah, she's underrated. And I hope she does great things. Chelsea Green getting more muscle and having more characters with her. I like that. Not against that. As we see her continue her reign with the United States Championship. We have a new United States Championship in the men's division. We have LA Knight defeating Shinsuke Nakamura. What do you guys make of this one?
Dear Nakamura, look, man. Since you came over back in the Black and Gold NXT days, your first match with Sami Zayn, that's a match I still go back and watch even to this day. That probably was the best debut match anybody has ever seen. But as far as the booking and everything has gone since he won the Royal Rumble, it's all gone downhill since then. First he went heel. Then he had fucking Rick Boogs as his guitarist for a little bit. You guys remember that time? And his booking has just been like really like inconsistent. They tried this time with this new gimmick, with this new Ninja Warrior gimmick, which was intimidating and very good at first. But how long was this? How long did he have the title for? Maybe 2 months, 2 or 3 months.
I'd say a month and a half, honestly.
Like a month and a half or so. So if I'm Shinsuke Nakamura at this point, dude, just ask for your release and either go to New Japan or go somewhere else where whereas your mystique will be respected. Because I don't want to say it's because the roster is so deep because like you guys have said, that's kind of like not becoming a real excuse anymore, even though that's the only thing I can think of. But maybe it's a situation where he just needs to be in.
I'm gonna echo your pleas and cries, Brian. I want him to ask for his release and just go to Japan, and then I can watch him on YouTube have bangers at this stage of his life. Like, I do not want to see Shinsuke just be a jag, just another guy on the roster, and it feels like it.
Yeah.
I just for the sake, because I know if he goes to Japan, I'm probably not gonna watch it. I would honestly prefer him to be in AEW.
Why did you mention that, Lewis? Why?
Because one thing. No. I will say one thing. Because of one person, Konosuke Takeshita. And that man is being presented as literally the alpha. And his matches are bangers and they are crazy. Mind you, yes, he is young. He is very young. But he's one Japanese star that I've seen that is highlighted and utilized very well. I don't know if this is Don Callis, maybe, but even with, I know we'll get into AEW stuff later, but he has been presented very, very well, and obviously with like history with like Kenny and all them and stuff. So, and obviously there's so many New Japan stars in AEW that it writes so many stories. You got Will Ospreay, you got Kenny, you got the Young Bucks, you got so many people. Like,
yeah, you're right.
I feel like you could highlight a lot of his career there. So I don't know. That would be my pick.
Yeah, you're right about that, Lewis. They do have a lot of New Japan people over there, which begs the question: why the fuck is Forbidden Door still a pay-per-view concept? If you got like half of New Japan's roster already on your main roster, then what's the point of Forbidden Door?
That's another pay-per-view name, Brian. All right.
What's the point of doing AEW versus New Japan when half of New Japan is already with AEW?
Nah, I mean, if it goes to AEW, the one thing that AEW does a good job at is when they do add a new star, they do show them off very well outside of Adam Cole. They do present people really well early on. Whatever happens after that is up to debate. But when they first come in, they at least have that banger. They get that out the way. They get those hard-hitting matches out the way. For whatever we think of Ricochet, they actually have been presenting it more and more for better or for worse. So there is that with Shinsuke that can possibly happen. But yeah, I would love for him to go to New Japan because it's like we never got to see the hard hitting, the charismatic enigma that is Shinsuke Nakamura on the main roster, at least. Yeah. NXT, we got it. NXT, we had bangers with Samoa Joe. We had those bangers. We have that those VHS tapes of NXT Black and Gold.
I can buy a box set of NXT Black and Gold. I would buy it in a heartbeat. Those matches, those takeovers were highlights of that
wrestling. Wrestling.
That was
the main roster wasn't it that at that time.
The roster wasn't it. AEW wasn't a thing. So this was pretty much like every hardcore wrestling fan's dream with what NXT was putting out. So
we also had Pretty Deadly defeating what is that name? That team, Los Garzas in Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
So that we definitely getting. As I said, we've been waiting for the tag team division to pick up.
SmackDown's is
at least on SmackDown, it's picking up and getting time that it should get. And then we have DIY versus the Street Profits next week to see who takes on Pretty Deadly, I believe. So we are getting that. So
there was also a little hint there that I like that they threw in with Andrade, kind of going after Humberto a little bit. He's like, "Yo, why you letting what's his face Santos talk to you like that?" So I don't know if they're already
because
changing power. You never know.
Yeah, because people forget Andrade and Garza, they were in a stable together during the pandemic days when Zelina Vega was managing them.
Mm-hmm.
They were a tag team. So
were they? Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were a tag team, and Zelina was managing them. So I'm glad that they kind of went back to that history.
And where is Zelina Vega? Where is she?
She had that one
IC title.
Huh?
Or no, she's going after the US title.
Yeah, I know she had a vignette when she was where she was in front of a motorcycle.
It was like last week. Yeah, it was like a week
ago. Yeah, when she was in front of a motorcycle, kind of like telling everybody who Zelina Vega is, and now that she's on.
Yeah. Okay.
So I remember that, but I do remember the backstage segment where she did say she's coming for the U.S. women's title.
Yeah,
I don't think she's had a match.
Use her. As I said, there's a lot of talent right there. Just have them battle for the belt. Just have them go after each other and battle for the belt in that mid card. Just have them do that. You know what I mean? There's enough time on wrestling.
One of these 4 mid card titles, 2 for the men, 2 for the women. One of them is going to be in a multi-person ladder match. One of them, or 2 of them. Like you have to. Like showcase the depth of the mid card, please.
What's gonna happen? We also have we had Solo and was it Solo and Braun going hand to hand? What do you guys make of that one?
It was a good, solid match.
Yep, the new Big Show. Yeah, Braun Strowman.
He is losing a lot.
That's what I'm saying. He's the new Big Show. He's the big guy that you book because you know he looks intimidating and you know he has a chance to come out every time. But you use
did he lose to Carmelo Hayes?
Like you used Big Show back in the day.
Didn't he lose to Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah, he did. He got like a sneaky pin or something against him or something. Or a count out. No, I think it was a count out. That's what
it was a count out. Yep. It was a count out.
Yeah.
I had so much hype. I like Braun Strowman back in the day. I'm like, I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be the new era of the big man. And then it's just, you want to know what's going to happen? Him and Omos are going to form a tag team.
They better not. No, first of all, why are you even bringing up?
Just wanted to see your guys' reaction.
Almost like handyman. It's like, how dare you say his name?
I just wanted you guys. I just wanted you guys to just see your guys' reactions. That's all with that.
Yeah.
We have.
I also think it's just this era of wrestling. Like the Giants are just don't do very well in WWE in this day and age. Like we've seen it. You know, who was the guy who was with Apollo Crews? The Commander Aziz or whatever the hell it was.
That was Dabba-Kato. Yeah, that was that guy.
Yeah, him. He was another big ass dude out. I think the dudes who were part of like the Indian tag team, they were pretty big dudes out. Like, I don't know. I feel like the big man in WWE does not do well in this day and age. I don't know. It's not
just
like,
they just try to make them comedy characters in a stretch, and
or
then
lose in stupid ways like count outs and like getting DQ'd by accident or whatever. Like,
you know, I just realized something. Yo, since we're talking about the big man, I really miss Bronson Reed, man.
why you gotta make me sad, Brian?
We're talking about the big man because we're talking about like how the big man is being.
That was
booked.
the one big
he was
man
being booked as a monster heel. He was one of the big men that was actually being booked respectably. So like,
damn, that sucks.
Yeah, that damn War Games. You didn't have to do that spot, but
it's like nobody knows how to jump off a cage anymore.
Not a damn soul.
At this point, you really need to jump off the cage to have like that one final spot. Like you guys still think of something else now. like if I'm Bronson Reed is never doing that shit again.
He should.
It's like, stop landing on your feet, guys. Land on your stomachs.
Yo.
Oh my God. Do we all forget what splash is?
I mean, Rikishi did it with no issue.
I'm saying,
just fell back.
I don't know what it is. It's like, do you guys not lean out far enough? Like, I don't know.
I mean, Jay did the same thing, broke his toe.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's just a hilarious thing. Final note on SmackDown, we actually got the final reveal that it was Naomi who took out Jade Cargill in a very passionate promo between her and Bianca. Kind of sending Bianca off on her own path, kind of giving her grace to go to Raw. But Jade Cargill once again beats the shit out of Naomi.
The funniest thing. Sorry, go ahead, dude.
And I just keep saying, at some point, Naomi has to fight back. You can't just keep getting your ass kicked.
Now, see, at first when they went in that direction, I thought like, because I know Daniel, you've been the one that's kind of been saying that, predicting that Naomi eventually is gonna form her own stable, whether that would be Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson or some other women from NXT. Mm. And I thought that SmackDown was a perfect opportunity. Jade's walking down, Bianca's walking out. Perfect opportunity for those women to then come out. But then I thought, if you do that, then you kind of have to get Bianca involved because it's like
yeah.
I see a girl getting jumped, she has to jump back in, and then she's back in that story, and she's already in another story. So I'm guessing they're probably going to do that reveal either on a future SmackDown, maybe this upcoming one, But you're right, Daniel. At this point, if Jade is the baby face and she's always just coming out on top,
it's not like a cowering beat down like Naomi's like sneaking away. Like she's getting her ass kicked.
like who's the heel? Like that's how bad it looks. Like who's the real heel? Who's the real heel?
Well, so she has a name. She needs to come back at this point. Like she has to lay out Jade if this is actually going to lead to some type of feud, or I mean, it is a feud, but I mean to some type of big match, because it can't just be her getting destroyed by Jade every time.
I said there has to be there has to be someone like it would make sense like that. Daniel, you predicted that like Naomi's going to form her own bloodline stable, or
she has to. Mm-hmm. She has to. That's her and Nia Jax. The family's right there.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
This girl's kicking my ass. Help me.
Help me.
There's a couple of people you can put.
Like, just get everybody to help you. Like, we can't keep seeing you get your ass whooped like this. Like, there has to be some.
In fact, fuck that. Did you get Jada Parker too? Shit.
Get all the help you can. Get all the reinforcements. Because she's getting her ass kicked. Mm-hmm. All right, but that would be doing it for we did have Drew defeating Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso, my bad, on SmackDown as well. Drew continuing his fight with the Bloodline, even though he doesn't want anything to do with them. Yeah, and he did, still just continue.
Yeah, and he did attack Damian Priest at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, that too. So
they're definitely going forward with that match at WrestleMania.
Damian and Drew. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too, even though some fans want better for Drew. But at this point, it's just like, come on, guys. Drew he did win the title last year's WrestleMania, even though it was for like 30 seconds. But still, he still got his moment. He still factored in.
And these guys have a history, so there's that too.
Exactly. From that match, like people aren't seeing bro, look at the history between these two. The opening match of last year's WrestleMania is like, you can tell that story. Like,
yeah, it writes itself. Easy booking for WWE. All right, let's get into my favorite not so promotion there with AEW Revolution. Let's take a look at the card, guys. You guys can lead the way on this one. You know where I stand on AEW.
All right, so then you actually have the match card up. I mean, you can actually just go through the card, and then Lewis and I will just try to summarize.
I'll skip the pre-show stuff. Skip
the pre-show.
We had Hangman Page defeating MJF. Wow,
clean. Yeah, clean. Like this was actually a very good opener. I actually thought that like this feud along with maybe Tony Storm, Mariah May. This is actually one of their. This is actually a very important feud, at least in my opinion, because we're gonna get into the main event and the whole Death Rider storyline. But
Death Rider.
When you think of Hangman Adam Page and MJF, like there are two of the pillars of AEW. They both started when the promotion started. They both were a part of like the very first match, which was the Battle Royal that Hangman won to become the number one contender. And the whole story has pretty much been about MJF kind of like trying to expose the crowd for being hypocrites, because you saw Hangman's last feud with a Swerve, all the vicious stuff all the heelish stuff that he's doing, setting his house, burning his house down, and then he was in another feud with Christopher Daniels, beat the holy crap out of him, and MJF was like, this guy's doing all this heelish shit, and you guys are cheering them on. Yeah, when I do something, but then when I do something, you guys are getting on me. So you guys are hypocrites. So leading up into the match, I think MJF was gonna attempted actually to set Hangman on fire to prove his point. like you guys think that was fun? All right, so you guys think this is funny. So that was very.
Is that where AEW is going on now? The Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior turning somebody on fire? Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing here in America?
But it was a very good opener. I'm glad that Hangman came out on top. I mean, like I said, both of these guys are like kind of the foundation of AEW. So it was a very good opener. Good way to start it off.
I honestly hope this feud with that this wasn't the end of their feud, because the promo exchanges between them were very good.
Fire.
And honestly, I was more surprised that Hangman actually got the win clean, and I was like, because even during the match, and you had like moments with MJF kind of like, not like crying, but like just like yelling at the crowd, like, why not me? Why isn't it me? Why is it you? Like Brian said, it's like, yeah, you guys know I'm a scumbag and I cheat to win, and I do what needs to be done to get the job done. But you got Hangman over here, doing all these terrible things, attacking people, hurting people, but yeah, you guys still love him. And it's like, I thought it was definitely great storytelling, great match. MJF plays that part very well.
MJF just wants to be loved. He's just misunderstood and all that.
Pretty much that's how he comes off too.
Yeah, but this was definitely a great opener for the pay-per-view, though.
Yeah, and apparently I thought that this feud was going to continue on after this, but I guess apparently I saw on our social media that apparently MJF was interacting with MVP, the Hurt Syndicate. So I don't know what that's going to be moving forward, but I'm definitely going to watch that segment when I get a
yeah,
chance.
for sure.
Oh wow, that should be interesting.
Yep.
MJF becomes the leader
MVP and MJF.
and just destroys any credibility the syndicate had. Just irrelevant. They're getting paid by MJF. He's the benefactor from all that. There's his muscle now. Next up, we have Mercedes Moné versus Moto Watanabe.
Yeah, Momo Watanabe. So essentially, Momo got this shot because at what was it? Wrestle Dynasty. She had won a fatal 4-way where she could pick whatever champion that she wanted out of I think it was Stardom, CMLL, AEW, New Japan champions,
and Ring of Honor, I think, or whatever.
Yeah, Ring of Honor. Yeah, she picked Mercedes. At this point, as far as Mercedes go, obviously she's arguably one of the best female wrestlers in the world right now. Like all of her matches since she's come to AEW has been top top notch. Been some of the best performances out of a woman. But the only issue is that it's like they're running out. It's almost like they're running out of credible opponents. She's literally just been running through everybody in the mid card, and the way it's looking right now, she's going to be holding this TBS title for an extended period of time because they want to kind of erase the history that Jade had with it, and kind of get rid of Jade's reign. So moving forward, it's kind of just like, okay, you keep lining up all these opponents, bringing in all these women from these other promotions that people don't really know too much about, and she's running through everybody. It's just that at this point, I kind of just want her in a very good story right now. And they tried to do it with Britt Baker, which resulted in the match that they had at All In, which ended up being a disappointment. The matches she had. She had Statlander. Both matches were bangers, but the story was always it was on again, then off again. She was in a little story with Camille for a little bit. Then Camille disappeared, and we haven't seen her since. So I'm just at this point with Mercedes, I just want her in a very compelling story because we already know what she can do in ring wise. You know how dominant she is from that standpoint. Now I just want her.
We know what needs to happen is that they need her to face Mariah May and Toni Storm. She needs to get involved with that.
No, yeah, she definitely needs to be in the women's top
main event team.
Yeah, main event. Because even watching this match, I was like, man, I didn't know much about this person from New Japan, but they showed the highlights, and I was like, okay. And then seeing the wrestle, I was like, okay, this is good. And they had some great spots, but like Brian said, she needs more credible opponents, and I think moving her up to the main card would definitely help her out a lot. Even though she is doing well in these matches and selling and storytelling, but she needs to. I think, like Brian said, I think she's also running out of opponents.
I mean, not necessarily. They have 3 other promotions that they can just pull people from.
Yeah, hopefully watching all of them.
She's carrying 4 titles right now, so it's like
she's going to be like Austin Aries and just hold all the belts from different promotions.
All the gold. I've heard some people predicting that at All In that it's going to be her and Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, which they kind of been going at each other on Twitter because for this feud with Momo, one of Athena's minions, Billy Stark. Yeah, Billy Stark was involved in this feud, kind of speaking for Momo in a sense. So they had a Twitter exchange as a result. So people are hoping that they go in that direction because that will be a banger match in Texas. But Mercedes just needs more credible opponents. So that's all we need for her.
We had Swerve Strickland defeating Ricochet how did Ricochet get in the spot? Never mind. For the AEW World Heavyweight title, contendership, number 1 contendership for the AEW World title. How did Ricochet get in the spot?
How did he get in the spot?
What do you mean?
How did he get in the spot?
He stabbed Swerve in the head with some scissors.
No, exactly. I'll tell you what the fuck happened to Ricochet. when Ricochet first came to AEW, he was still portraying that same babyface gimmick that he portrayed during his tail end of WWE, and the crowd just wasn't buying it. Like they thought he was corny. They thought he was corny as fuck with the and people didn't like it.
Yeah,
people didn't like it. People didn't like it as hell. Then he had that attack on Swerve, like Lewis said, with the scissors, which made him look fucking vicious, intimidating. Complete 180 from the babyface crap that he was doing, and now when he does the it's more it's still corny, but it's actually funny now.
It's part of like his character and everything.
Part of his character. So I will say this though, even though he's shown leaps and bounds as far as his character work goes, AEW has kind of exposed him as far as his mic work though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
His whole
he was exposed when he left WWE.
I mean,
it's been a problem.
It's not his strength, and he's trying, and you can tell he's trying. He's trying, and sometimes it comes off convincing, but majority of the time it really doesn't. But it's just like, man, just put the mic down. Just put the mic down. Get you a minute.
He needs to keep it short and sweet because when he goes on these long rants, it just doesn't sound real, or it's just very generic. So he's great in the ring.
He's trying, but it's just like,
yeah. I mean, I feel like him and Swerve have been having a good back and forth, but
they have.
There's some times where you're like, where are you going with this? Like, you got to give us something more. So
okay, I will say this much. This feud between them, I'll say this much. It's probably the most. It's probably. I'll say it like this. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's probably the most WWE feud that AEW has right now because the feud is literally over Prince Nana's robe, which has a whole bunch of history and prestige that Ricochet actually stole, and he brought it to ringside. I think like Prince Nana at one point came out, took the robe back, and like the robe was a central part of the story. And then Swerve ends up getting the win, and then he presents the robe to Prince Nana, and the crowd gave them a standing ovation.
Yeah.
This is without any of the blood and the gory that we would end up getting later in the show. But the fact that the crowd was on its feet, and the story was literally about a damn robe. That's why I say it's kind of like the most WWE storyline that they have right now, because literally you didn't need all like the thumbtacks and the hardcore stuff. The fans were into it just because of the robe and just the presentation of the robe at the very end. The crowd was into it because they got it.
Yeah,
and you didn't need all the hardcore stuff.
I just can't believe Ricochet's in that spot already. So, but
yeah.
It is AEW.
Yeah.
The next match we have for the Continental Championship, we had Okada defeating that's his name, Brody King, which I saw some clips on about that match.
Okay, this match and the match after this, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. This match was literally on the fucking card because they wanted to get Okada on the card.
Yeah,
literally, Daniel, listen.
Oh, it wasn't a hard hitting affair.
This match.
Was okay.
This match literally had a 1 week build. You want to know how this match was built? On Collision, Brody King had with Julia Hart backstage, and I think that they were having an interview. Okada literally walked out, and literally I think like he walked past their interview, like interrupted it, and then he said something, and then Brody King like barked at him. And then later in the night, I think Brody King had a match, and Okada came out and attacked him, and then literally title match. That's it. So literally just to get Okada on the card. Just to get Okada on the card.
This is the person that they brought from New Japan, who is the best wrestler in the world, having banger after banger with Kenny Omega, and this is what they're doing to him.
We can only hope that for their big show coming up, because the plan is, because I saw a report that the plan is for them to do Omega and Okada, and for them to unify the International Championship and the Continental Championship. Which, for the love of God, please, man, you guys don't need all the show. Like, if that's what you're going to do, merge these titles, it's going to be Omega versus Okada. Please do that.
I hate that damn Continental Classic belt. It literally looks like a giant checker with the crown on it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, the worst title design. The worst design. But the match was fine. Yeah. I get upset because Brody King is so good and he just keeps losing. And it's like put him in a prominent role. Like he's the leader of this group now, and yet we're still not doing anything with him.
Like this is a match that wasn't needed on the card at all.
No, not at all.
And I'll actually get into this when we get into. I'll actually get into my other point when we get into the main event. But you can go ahead, Daniel. What was the next match?
We had the Hurt Syndicate defeating the Outrunners. Again, another match that you guys say shouldn't have been on the card. Could have been on Collision. Could have been on Dynamite.
well, I wouldn't say that this match. I wouldn't say that it shouldn't have been on the card. I'll just say that like the reason why this match wasn't appealing is just that you have. It's just that it's too little, too late. As far as the Outrunners go, when the Outrunners first debuted with that '80s gimmick, the crowd was 100% behind them, and behind them to a point where it's almost like mandatory. Like you got to put the tag team titles on these guys. You got a new act. The crowd loves them. Why not do that? But instead, they went in a completely different other direction. And by the time the Outrunners got their first title match, it's like, well, the balloon is already off the rose, and the people aren't into them as much. And it showed in this match. Like people love the Hurt Syndicate now. They love the theme music. They love their appeal, their swag, and everything about it. So it's like the Outrunners, they're outdated. They're done now. So it's like you had an opportunity months ago with them, and then you pissed it away. So it's like nobody cares anymore.
Let's keep moving on to the AEW World Title. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mariah May.
Okay.
A lot of people saying this should have been the main event.
Yes,
and it should have.
Yes,
did they main event in Australia?
Yes, they did. They did main event in Australia. Yes.
So why wouldn't they just
go ahead?
just do it again?
Because it's AEW, Daniel. Because it's the world title, and because their world title is the most prestigious title in all of wrestling, so it has to main event. But this women's title match and the next two matches after that, this would be the twilight. Well, I guess the positive of the card. These upcoming three matches that we're about to talk about right now, because Tony Storm and Mariah May. Man, you talk about, oh my gosh, some of these spots. I think Daniel mentioned one of them earlier, the glass bottle to the vagina region. Man, some of the stuff that these women were doing, and it's just like
I saw a bloody shoe or something. Like
but here's the thing about it. Like this story has literally been carrying AEW, in my opinion, definitely the women's division, but the entire company. This story has been it. Timeless Tony Storm has been it. Mariah May has probably been the best female heel in the whole wrestling industry for the last couple of months, and the story has been there. It's your classic story. It's your classic story of mentee turns on mentor, and then so I mean you had everything there, and it was just a tremendous match. It was hard hitting as hell. So the spots that they were doing, especially at the end, I actually love the ending because. The ending is essentially how Mariah May turned heel in the first place with that same bloody shoe when she turned on Tony Storm. So and then she hit the pile driver through that table, and definitely the way it ended, you definitely would have wanted the show to go off like that because they had like the Titantron graphics, the end, like because of the ending. It's just like if the show just went off like that would have been perfect. Like
I don't get how Tony Storm went from getting pie-faced in WWE to putting on bangers like this.
Crazy. You know what you got to come, right?
Exactly. Out of all the people that they got from WWE initially during the pandemic, I mean, two of the people they truly made, and that was her and Swerve. Those two. Mm-hmm. Yep. Really, those are the only two that they made. And like I said, and Tony Storm is just like nobody knew that she had this in her. This Marilyn Monroe gimmick has literally been the best woman gimmick in across wrestling. And it was a hell of a brawl. And it's unfortunate that the story has to come to an end right now because literally it was the best story. It has been the best story in AEW.
Tough break. Let's continue going on here. We have Kenny Omega defeating Takeshita for the AEW Intercontinental Championship. How was that match?
Great match. This was another match similar to the Seth Rollins CM Punk. A lot of false finishes, a lot of great technical stuff in the ring. they sold the story, obviously, with Kenny's diverticulitis and, his love.
Yeah, I did see that spot on the table. That looked crazy.
And all that stuff. They had a couple spots, I think, when he dropped him on a table, and I was like, oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that Kenny won. That caught me off guard. But like I said before, Takeshita is great in the ring. He has great character presence. He should be in that world title picture soon, just because of how good he is.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think at the point, I used to always think that Takeshita was just highly underrated. I don't even think you can even call him that anymore. You can't even say he's underrated. I think everybody knows how fucking good this guy is. I mean, I can go back to the match I know that it's Will Ospreay, but still, the match he had with Will Ospreay, he had tremendous moments in that match. But definitely I agree with Takeshita. Takeshita is he's up and coming, and obviously Kenny Omega. I mean, Kenny Omega doesn't rarely has bad matches. And it was great to see him back on pay-per-view. He came out on top. Like I said, I think they were really booking towards him and Okada again at All In. So it was a hell of a match. Like Lewis said, a whole bunch of false finishes. Obviously, you had Don Callis and his involvement with the history of both men. So it was a banger. It was a great match.
Yeah.
And then we got what came next.
Oh, we still had one more match. Will Ospreay.
No. That's what I mean.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Will Ospreay for Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage match. Nearly 30 minutes. Damn.
Now, honestly, now I know some people are going to say that Tony Storm and Mariah May was the match of the night, but I think this was.
No.
You don't agree? You don't think Ospreay and Fletcher stole the show?
I'm not going to say they didn't. They did. They did some crazy stuff in that ring. A lot of counters, fast moves, all that. For me, just because of everything that happened with Mariah May and Toni Storm, and then her period of forgetting everything and all that stuff, but there was just a lot of layers to that story. And then her losing, her coming back winning, and then again, I thought it was great.
Okay, we can definitely agree that Toni Storm and Mariah had the better overall story, and that maybe it enhanced their match better. But just from a pure in-ring standpoint, Ospreay and Fletcher, there's no. I don't think there's. I think aside from Bryan Danielson, Kyle Fletcher is like Ospreay's like perfect opponent because they complement each other so well, like the chemistry, the history. I love the finish when Ospreay can hit him with the Tiger Driver 91, because in their first match that was actually a storyline point where Ospreay wouldn't hit him with it because at the end of the day he still had love for him, so he didn't want to do that to him. And now all these months and everything that's happened with him going to the Don Callis family and turning heel, it's just like. It was the perfect way to end the match. It was the perfect climax with him hitting the Tiger Driver, and the back and forth. You already know, with again similar to Kenny Omega with Will Ospreay. I mean, this is a guy who had like 6 matches that were considered match of the year contenders on the top 10 list of 2024. So you already know that with Will Ospreay what you're expecting to get. Kyle Fletcher, he's going to be okay moving forward. I know some people were a little upset that he didn't come out. He didn't come out on top, him being the young star. But Ospreay is pretty much the franchise and the baby face of your company. Kyle Fletcher still has years and years ahead of him. Will Ospreay is the here and the now, and he did reference on Dynamite that he is going after the world title and that he's going to enter the Owen Hart tournament and to try to become number 1 contender. So. Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher. I thought it was in ring wise was the match of the night. You could say Tony and Mariah had the better story, definitely, but definitely was a banger. And then next happened.
And then we had the AEW World Championship where Jon Moxley defeated Cope in their casino cash-in Christian Cage. First of all, let me say this: I did not see this match.
Good, you say brave.
But why is Edge going by Cope?
Because Adam Copeland is too much to say. and plus, you already got Hangman Adam Page. You have Adam Cole. I don't think he wanted to be called Adam again. He didn't want to be a third Adam, so he just said, "I take my last name."
Third Adam.
Just like we had Edge, take my last name, Cope. There you go. That's the best way I describe it.
When I saw that a month ago when he returned or so, when I saw that they're calling him Cope, I'm like, what are we?
Daniel, to be fair, it was his idea.
Yeah.
That was it.
Never mind.
The name change never did it for me. I thought it was a stupid name, honestly. This match, huh?
I just said Jesus Christ because I'm just like, what are they doing?
I know this match. I honestly knew it was going to be boring. And I'm sorry, to me, this match was boring. And I think John Moxley's style is getting boring to me. Unless he has.
That's what I wanted to ask because a lot of the times when I've seen from AEW, they kind of just put the title on Moxley when they need somebody to carry it, and it's just like, is it getting stale?
No. It's been fucking stale.
Yeah, beginning. Sorry, Brian. In the beginning, this story was a little intriguing to me because I thought there might be somebody behind all of it, like why is he attacking and purpose? But there's been none of that. They're just saying it's all just John and he's pissed that people are, gimmicks and all this other stuff, and it's just like,
wait a minute. Did you just say that this story with John Moxley has been intriguing?
I said because I thought there was going to be like a big reveal. No, I want to say.
You want to know what it was?
After they took out Bryan Danielson, I was like, okay, it was a little excessive with the whole trying to suffocate him thing or whatever. But I thought there was going to be like a reveal, like somebody was, made him do all this. Like there was like a big somebody.
It was supposed to be Shane McMahon.
Like maybe Big Shocker Shane McMahon or something. But it's been none of that. They've just been attacking people, and it's just like
there's nothing
attacking people, and it's like, what is this?
There's nothing intriguing about this storyline at all. It's been a complete shit show. Like I knew it was a shit show when they had announced that Moxley is going to was he gonna invade the superstation or take over the superstation, and everybody interpreted that like he's gonna go, they're gonna be at like the studios at Warner Media, and they're gonna shoot something with Moxley, and all Moxley did just came out and cut a basic ass promo. So that right there let me know that again, this Death Rider storyline is pure shit. It's supposed to be that top storyline, but yet it's fucking flopped on all accounts, and you hope that this title match would be the very end of it, and that wasn't the case at all. With this match to me, it kind of showed like what the negatives were about this card, because like I get it, Tony Khan, he's been doing this promotion existed for 5 years right now, but at this point it's like, dude, there's certain things that you should know. Like match order wise, the match order for this pay-per-view was completely off. Like after you had those three bangers in the row, you really needed like a cool down match or a settle down match so the crowd can regain.
This is the problem. This is the problem with having great matches on pay-per-view all the time. See, they don't know how to pace themselves.
They don't. And in this case, this is what they should have did. After Ospreay and Fletcher, that would have been perfect to then have Okada and Brody King. You could have threw that match in there right now. That little 10 minutes. I mean, I get it. It's Okada. But at the same time, people didn't really care about that feud. People didn't give a fuck about that feud. You could have had that match right then and there, settled the crowd down. At least you could have got somewhat of a better reaction for the main event. That crowd was dead during the main event. Like they had no energy. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't care about who they saw in front of them. And I know they knew, because you got Mox and you got Cope, that you're not gonna get like an indie style type of match. You're gonna get your generic kind of WWE style in a sense match between them, and the crowd was completely shitted on it. The booking of it was completely horrible, because you had Wheeler Yuta come out And they have been telling this story about how Moxley's like bullying him, and Cope kind of told him like, "Yo, this is what respect is about. Now, I'm showing you respect right now, and what I'm willing you to do." He came out and attacked him.
And
then Jay
John
White
Moxley has mind control over him.
Then Jay White came out and got involved. Then, which really kind of set me off, when Christian came out and then cashed in his contract to then make it a triple threat match. And literally the only reason why they did it is so Cope wouldn't get beat. So Christian cashes in the contract, spears Cope, gets a 2 count. Moxley comes from behind, puts him in a bully choke, and then Christian taps out, and then Moxley retains. And I'm just like, wow.
That was
Christian has been coming out with this fucking contract for the last 4 months, telling everyone, "Oh, I'm the uncrowned AEW champion." He's been telling this shit for 4 months, only to come out and just waste it. It's almost like you just wanted to get the contract out of the way.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the point of the contract?
Because you want to know why? Because those type of contracts in wrestling are a crutch. They're not good. Just like the Money in the Bank. And I'm going to continue to say that.
But okay, you know what my thing was? I didn't mind that Christian had that contract. I thought it would have actually been a good thing because he has been such a good heel and just being dirty and fucked up and taking people out and whatever. But mind you, this was the first time they've had this type of contract available in AEW, and your first person doesn't cash it right. What precedent does that?
I don't know if it's the first time they've had a contract like that. I don't recall, but you had a story right there where you could have went back to it with Christian and Cope,
easily.
It speaks for itself. Even though they've already done it, like that's one of those stories that just speaks for itself. It's like Sammy and KO, like, yo, bro, it's natural. Like you could have easily went back to that with Christian having the title. Like it's right in front of you, bro. This is why I always say Tony Khan is all of us with more money and more resources. I can book better than fucking Tony Khan. I know for a fact, if you give me the money and the resources, I can be a better fucking booker than Tony Khan.
Yeah. Honestly, so even though I didn't get to watch this in like real time, I watched it afterwards. AEW, and this is why I watch them, because I like that AEW does deliver on their PLEs. They have great matches, but me watching this, their PLEs are so damn long. There's too many matches, and like Brian said, and this is probably what the crowd fears. You're having so many good matches that when you get to the main event and that doesn't pay off, it's gonna be shit. You know, like Omega Takeshita, banger. Tony Storm, Mariah May, banger. MJF, Hangman, baby, like banger. Like you had a lot of heat on this card, and then by the time of the main event, you're tired. You're like, yo, let's go home. It's not even gonna compare to the other stuff we just saw. I already knew it. Go watching that match, I was like, honestly, I was fast forwarding stuff because I'm like, this match is boring. It's just slower pace. You got two older guys. I know John Moxley's like style.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, yo, bro, like know your audience, bro. Like your audience did not want to see that type of match in the main event, bro.
Yeah,
they didn't want that.
Right. I don't know where they go from this, because it's like, if that main event is trash all the time, especially with your world title, like, I don't know how they build from that. Like, I don't know what they like. I don't know.
I would say that the only saving grace for that main event was at the very end. Was Swerve coming out and attacking.
Jump from the crowd.
From the rat. I hope Swerve gets the title and just Mox goes away. Like, Mox needs to go away.
It's not happening. You want to know why? Because Swerve Strickland has just went through hellacious wars with Hangman Page. They're gonna do that with Mox.
But he did that right before he won the title, though. And then he lost it to, who did he lose the title to? Samoa Joe?
I think it was Samoa Joe. Yeah, I think he lost. Yeah, it was Samoa Joe. I think it might. Matter of fact, hold up. Did he beat Samoa Joe?
No, he beat Samoa Joe.
He beat Samoa Joe for it. Swerve lost the title to he lost the title to Bryan Danielson. That was at All In. And then Bryan Danielson lost.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Swerve is hot enough that he can take the title off of. I don't know if they'll do it, but it's like this Death Riders thing is trash. Like there's no clear goal. These guys aren't going after titles. They're just helping Mox win, and it's not exciting whatsoever. It's just like
and it's a waste of talent.
Yeah,
I think that's
make Cesaro turn on Mox and fucking give Cesaro the damn title. Like, can we have that finally? Like, I would rather Cesaro like get the damn title at some point in his damn career. Jesus Christ.
Exactly. All right. So Daniel, I wanted to ask you, what does AEW need to do in order to get your interest back? Because there was a point in time. Because I was just thinking the other day, there was a point in time. You and Lewis went to a Blood and Guts at TD Garden. There was a point in time where you were very interested in AEW. So what do they have to do to get that interest back from you?
I said from the beginning, my issue with AEW is basically nearly everything. And from the standpoint of, yes, they do have good matches and stuff like that. Yes, can't ignore that. Do I want the stories all the time? No, I don't necessarily need the stories all the time in wrestling.
You need a little story.
Yeah, but from their presentation down to their booking, I just don't like it. I even said it like, I said this used to be like WCW 2.0, but even WCW's presentation was better. Like,
Daniel, I just want to say, as an aside, if Eric Bischoff heard you say that right now, he would rash your ass. I'm just saying.
Okay. Let me say this: WCW in like 2000, 2001 when it was dying. That's why that's what it's like. WCW 2.0, but I just don't know. I'm just not interested in the stories. There's too many belts. I don't feel like there's a real payoff for a lot of their feuds. I just don't know. I can't bring myself to watch even week to week or feel like I care about something. Like, I just can't. I don't know what it's going to take.
That's my issue, is that I try to watch week to week and I can't get through it. And I just know, like, if I get to the PLE, they're going to highlight everything, and there's really no point in me watching the week to week, I guess.
Week to week.
So
that's what a lot of fans do. I mean, a lot of fans they don't watch
unless it's some like
it's hard to be announced, and then they just watch the PLE. I mean,
honestly, like, the social media kind of gives me the highlights, because like I went back to see when Mariah May turned on Tony Storm. I went back to see, like, the big turns that they might, but it's like, and I've seen other people on social media talk about it. They're like, you guys don't. Yes, you'll have these great PLEs, but you don't build on it to get me to watch the next week. It's like, oh, here we have Hangman. These people, they have this great match, but then it's like, what are you doing to bring me in? What are you doing?
I think that's my biggest thing. There's no reason to keep coming back when they just give it away. And there's no build-up. There's no lead into anything. There's no rhyme or reason for anything to happen. Like, I just don't know. There was intrigue there in the beginning because it's like, okay, this is AEW. All these guys who were kind of outcast from WWE or on the indie scene that never got the WWE call-up. Okay, let's see what these guys are about. Let's see what these guys can bring to the table. And from day one, I've just been like, okay, this is not my style of wrestling that I like to watch. I just can't.
And I've always made the point to say that, like, those first 2 years of AEW, that those were their glory years, as far as I'm concerned. But I'll say this till the cows come home. I really do think Vince McMahon stepping down and being exiled from WWE was the worst thing that could have happened to AEW, because during those first couple of years they were successful. It was more so because WWE was producing some of the most shittiest television that we had seen in a long time. I go back to 2019. Those were the years where Roman Reigns was getting dog food poured on them, and they were having shitty ass storylines. Like, look at Luke, he's shaking your head right now. And AEW was providing edgier content, more up to date content. And WWE was archaic and outdated. Then Vince steps down. Here comes the guy that was responsible for NXT Black and Gold being what it was. And then he comes in, brightens the place up a little bit. And now Tony Khan is up against a guy that not only is he not outdated and archaic, but he actually knows wrestling a shit ton more than he does. So yeah. So Triple H is Tony Khan's worst nightmare.
I'm not even happy all the time with Triple H's booking. But he just makes it look a lot easier than what Tony Khan's doing. like a B show of SmackDown is better than AEW to me. Like, I would rather watch a C-level SmackDown than watch AEW. And that's crazy to say, because why would you take a lower grade? But it's just like, at least I know what I'm getting. At least I know where I'm leading to in terms of the production I'm getting. With AEW is just like, I don't know what it is.
I have to disagree, only because we've talked about this. Raw has been great. SmackDown has not been very good lately.
SmackDown is the leftovers.
Yeah, and I literally every Friday I try to watch SmackDown, and then I end up falling asleep.
Watching highlights. 3 hours on a Friday night is a fucking tough axe, bro. Like, I think you're all gonna go back to 2 hours, but that third hour is just killing everybody.
Yeah, and for me, I don't know. I like watching AEW because I do like the different type of style that they have. They have a lot of New Japan guys. They have a lot of these like crazy, like they do crazier moves. They do crazier stunts. Mm-hmm. Yes, they're not afraid to use blood all the time. I know a lot of people don't like it. I know Dan doesn't like it, but
I don't mind blood.
I think it's that edgier, brings me back a little bit, the scene. Mm-hmm. The death matches that like the Swerve Hangman, I thought was amazing. Mm-hmm. Not everything works. There's some matches that you're like, what the hell are we doing? Yeah. But again, they focus more on the wrestling, but they have to work on getting people to come back and watch. You can't just keep an attack and whatever and this and that, and it's like, all right, I don't need to watch this week to week. I'll just see the payoff at the PL. And it's like,
and you feel like you can do that with any wrestling, right? Because they do recap what happened, how we got here, XYZ. But with AEW, it's just like, you guys do the same thing. You guys do the same.
They act like everybody is hip, and WWE acts like they got new viewers every time they have a new episode of Raw. Like, they show those recap because they think like, okay, there might be somebody new watching, so let's do that. AEW be thinking that everybody's seeing everything and everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows all these faces on social media and everything, so that everyone should just know. So just put it out there, and it's like, it doesn't work that way.
As I said, I just don't know what's going to take me to get back into AEW. Mercedes Moné went there, Sasha Banks, formerly known as Sasha Banks. I've seen like her first intro, and I'm like, this is not going to work.
I will say, I feel like she has gotten better. I feel
like from the reports and what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, she's found her place at least. Mm-hmm. So I'll give her that, but it's just like, that's not even making me watch. And you guys know I'm a big Sasha Banks fan. So
for me, it's what Brian says. She needs to be in facing the main event females now, because she's kind of
running through
everybody at this point, and it's like, why is she not going,
further? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you were brought there to be the main player, and you're there holding the title that Jade Cargill held. Yeah.
I also do think it's because she has all these belts, and she is probably going to all these other promotions to wrestle.
Yeah.
That has something to do with it. So
Jesus. And I don't know. To answer your question, Brian, I don't know.
We can only hope, right? We can only hope.
And I'm not sure I will be brought in. I would rather check it again. I would rather check out TNA. I would rather go watch a YouTube clip on TNA than AEW. Like, I don't know.
That says a lot.
So I'm just like, I don't know what's gonna take me back. I don't know. But shit. That will do it for this episode 96. As always, had a good time. Remember, everyone, always kick out on 2. And until next time.